All right, hello and welcome. My name is Alex Meta, and I'm one of this year's science communication interns at EarthScope. Um, Beck and Riley, if you want to introduce yourselves.
Yeah, I'm Beck. I'm also a science communication intern, and we're here to interview Riley if you want to introduce yourself.
I'm Riley. I'm also an intern. I work on DAS with Chris in Instrumentation group.
Okay, cool. So today we're mostly giving a little spotlight to Riley and her background and what she does, both with EarthScope and outside of EarthScope. So Riley, just to start off, do you mind giving us a bit of your background, so your career path, how you got to where you are?
This is actually interesting. So I got my bachelor's degree back in China, in University of Science and Technology of China. I got admitted in 2016 as a math major freshman student, and then I got super into the outdoor activities with those clubs. And then they're like, oh my gosh, this is Micah, this is so beautiful. Oh my gosh, this is an intrusion. And I'm like, wow, that's so cool. So before that, I only have background in math and some programming. I never thought about geophysics. I actually didn't know that was a major before. But then after going out with the outdoor club, I'm like, wow, that is actually so cool. Your work is so closely related to the major. So like after my first year, I actually talked to a lot of people. I firstly talked to a professor. He worked in penguin poops in Antarctica. He got me into geophysics. And then here I am. It's fun, but I didn't thought about seismology at first. But then when I was in my third year, there was like an exchange program. I worked with Sean in Michigan State to deal with those, attenuation tomography, to try to study how those Andes mountain grow. And I'm like, wow, that's my life goal. And then after I graduated, I went to Michigan State and worked with Sean on seismology, and then we did like everything, following up.
That's really cool. So, can you tell us a little bit more about what exactly you do measuring the Andes Mountains getting taller? What does
um,
that mean?
that's actually sad. I'm still working on it. I still haven't finished it. So we're trying to study the seismic signals are consisting of three terms. One is like the source. The other is like uh, when it goes right, when it propagate, it's like the path term. And then when you have a seismometer, you record it, but there's like a site amplification factor. So there are like three different um terms that can affect the observed signals. We are trying to know about the source term and the earthquakes that happen in the Andes, the flat subduction zone. And then after we move that, we will learn about the path term, how the seismic wave transport through the earth, interior of the earth. And then we'll be able to tell for now, we kind of know that it's a very, very cold subduction zone, and there might be a lot of post ridge deformation on the other side of the Andes, but we're still in progress. I actually spend a lot of time dealing with this method, like math stuffs. I don't want to emphasize on that for now.
That's really cool. You'll have to keep us updated as that progresses.
Thank you. If you, probably not, but there is somebody called Elisa working in the instrumentation group in EarthScope. She actually works on the same project I'm working on right now. I'm like, oh my gosh, the work is so small.
So I suppose now that we brought up EarthScope,
Mhm.
how did you come across your internship in particular? Had you heard of EarthScope before? Was this totally new to you?
Um, I've definitely heard of it before, but I'm doing seismology. I'm more familiar with Iris. I know Iris very well. I download my data from Iris. I also like when I firstly publish my paper, I also have to upload my Earth model to EarthScope platform. So I know the EarthScope as a platform very well as a user. I did not thought about working here before because I thought like, that's like, yeah, it's kind of a little bit far away from my project. But then they're like recruiting internships. I just got an email from our department chair about, wow, that's actually cool. Mm, yeah, so I applied for DAS and instrumentation interns. I ended up being an instrumentation intern, but working on DAS. So like I'm doing whatever everything I wanted to do before I applied for it.
Sweet. What exactly is DAS? Could you explain that a little bit?
Sure, that's DAS, distributed acoustic sensing. It's kind of like you have the cable from AT&T, Verizon. They're like similar cables. They're buried underground. And there is something called interrogator. They're shooting the laser inside the cables. And then there might be some little imperfections that can reflect the laser back. While we can always receive the laser signal when it's reflected back. And if there's like a very small displacement of the cable or like a little strain, the reflected laser would not be the same as it was before. So based on that, this is kind of like a seismometer. It records how the cables are distorted or like moved. You can understand it as a very dense array of seismometers. And we also use a seismograph, the seismic signals, to deal with the underground, underground imaging or like flooding, irrigation, sorry, something like that. Like all sorts of signal. And you probably remember that Chris has posted the DAS. Those like so-called seismometers can also record the signal of the coyote and deers around there. So it's so cool. They can basically record all sorts of signal in all different frequency bands.
So I guess, and I'm asking this because I'm not as familiar with the work you're doing. What's the current application for this? Like, what is this data going towards?
Mm-hmm. Like generally, we can study animal. Some people study insects. Some people even study whales' behavior. Some people use that to like know more about volcano, and some people use that for like underground imaging. What we're trying to do right now is to use a technique called autocorrelation to see the discontinuities beneath the Socorro facility in the instrumentation center. We are trying to see the bedrock depth. We also want to see a very, very thin magma body. So there's like very, very few studies there. We are trying to see what kind of results we can get. It's like not limited to underground imaging. We still want to like know everything about it. They also want to study the relationship between the gas signal and the temperature, flooding, precipitation, like everything. There's like a full potential of gas.
That's really cool. What part of the world specifically do you have this array out at? Like, where are you trying to learn about?
Yeah, so you probably know the biggest instrumentation center in America is in Socorro, New Mexico. So there's a Socorro facility. They have like a lot of seismometers and in a warehouse, and they deployed I'm not sure if it's 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers gas cable just around that warehouse. So it's like very close to New Mexico Tech, in between a lot of mountains.
So they want to know the bedrock depth there, and they also think there's magma beneath it?
Yes, there's very few papers talking about it. They use different methods, and we guess, not we guess. There are a few papers about it. Their conclusion is kind of like there's a very very thin magma body with like 100-meter thickness at the depth of 18 kilometers. We really want to see it, but we're not sure if we're able to see it. Probably because of DAS data is too noisy, or like we only have one direction of data instead of three directions, three channels. We still don't know. We're so lucky that we have 4 seismometers deployed near the DAS cables. So our next step is to study autocorrelation with the seismometer data to see if we can observe that. So we don't know.
That's really cool. I'm learning a lot. So I guess I'll ask, since even just within EarthScope, there's like so much variation in even just between us interns, like what we're doing.
Mhm.
So what skills do you think you've learned, or maybe you think you were going to learn or haven't learned, that you're finding you're applying in this internship? Like maybe any past skills that you're using now, or anything that you're learning for the first time now?
Mhm.
Yeah, anything like that.
I think I'm turned to a completely different person after like this month. It sounds traumatic. Like firstly, when I talk about technical details, I did not have experience working with DAS data. This is like a more noisy but much denser array. If you deal with it with more caution, you can get a very very high resolution result. So like technically, I've gained the skills of DAS data processing, but what's more importantly, throughout our orientation, they talk about making connections. I like actively talk to a lot of people in EarthScope. I feel like everybody is so nice and they just share everything they can think about with you. And then before that, I just thought, oh yeah, I'll just do my seismology and graduate and be a postdoc and find a tenure track position. Then I realized that's not the only way. I feel like I cannot very specifically see what's my career path, but my career path has been broadened so much since last month, and I I've gained more confidence talking with people. Um, yeah, I feel like that's the most important thing that our scope has brought me.
Okay, we'll wrap up there. Thanks so much for talking with us, Riley.
Cool,
Thanks,
thank
Greg,
you.
for letting me host. And thanks so much for watching.
Thank you.